hello. And sorry I'm a little late. This is Be Your Own Kind. And speaking of being your own kind, I just came out a very great my ponytail all outside. Sorry. A great conversation with just sisterhood and uplifting and encouragement. I love things like that. That just enlighten me so much. So I extended my time. Um, for starting my live. So it's really late. I'm never on really late, but this video will probably just circulate, later on. So like I said, it's always good practice to be on live. You never can do something too much. It's only beneficial when you do it. So I wanted to get into to Tiny and T.I. And I think that this was just a great subject to start on because it's Women's Month. And I feel like abuse just gets pushed under the rug, like it's not important, like how things can just happen for a really long time and nothing is ever done about it, and everyone knows about it, but no one, this ponytail, sorry, but no one says anything. And so now when this T.I. and Tiny situation is popping up, everybody's like, well, this has been a thing. And it's just kind of like, well, if it's been a thing, how come the investigation is just not coming up? Were the women saying something and no one was listening to them, or were they just afraid because they were being intimidated, and then it's like, okay, when the recurring women, it's like, okay, well, were you threatened did you have to come back? Just so many questions about that. Yet and still, a lot of people like to say, well, you shouldn't, they knew what it was when they came in there and they shouldn't agree to do that. But you know what? I'm sure when a person enters a situation that they're not like setting themselves up to be abused, and no matter what everyone thinks, no one deserves to be mistreated. No one deserves to be abused. No one deserves it. So, even in this situation, like that's the same situation with R. Kelly. They're like, well, the girls knew about him, and you don't know what's being said. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what the force tactics are being used in these situations. If you haven't been in this situation, it's just best not to speak on it. And it's best not to victim blame, and it's also, it's just best to just take the information that you have and feel the way you feel, but not to the point where you're attacking someone's character because you can't really say how you would feel or what you would do in a situation unless you've been in that situation. So anyway, I'll just get into the live now. But, I don't know, like, that's just where I'm at with that, and I hear a lot of people like, well, the girls knew. Yeah, girls know a lot of things, but these are also young girls. These are also celebrities, and everyone looks up to these celebrities. And my mother always taught me like not to have idols, and now I see why, because they're people just like us, and they will fall short. And it really sucks because T.I. is like a pillar of his community, and he's like one of them stories, was incarcerated, and then he changed his life around. And so you're thinking he's changing his life around and using very big words and intelligent and things like that. And it's like, okay, with your second chance, this is what happened, and it's kind of, everybody's like, well, we love T.I. He couldn't have possibly did this, and we, you never know a person. And all of this is alleged because none of this has been, nothing's been appointed this in a court of law, nothing like this. So all of this information that I'm talking about is alleged. So I can't verify if it's true or not. All I can do is go once again with information that I have at hand. And I thought that it would be good to just start, at the beginning, because I really never followed Tiny and T.I. I'm one of those people that's like all about the music. I'm not really a person that follow lives. Like I just started doing that, and that could be because of COVID and there was nothing else to do and people really don't make music anymore. They just rely on oh, that's that commercial. So let me get in here. They just rely on like the Twitter and stuff like that. So then I start getting into celebrity lives, and now I regret it because it's gonna be hard to listen to some of this music again. So anyway, let's get into it. So why is this not letting me share? It's late, so okay. I'm trying to share. I'm trying to be a better person. There we go. We're gonna make me smaller though. So right here is just the episode. So I know that he was like a cheater and it had like this weird marital situation or whatever. But T.I. looking, he's had like relationships. He's alleged to have another baby, outside of Tiny, like later on down the line when they were married, and just some weird behavior he's had with women over the years while they're married. So this, I've never seen their show of Friends and Family Hustle, but this was just an excerpt that I saw that I wanted to start with.
Gives you more of what you need to help you lose weight.
Let me just cut this up a little bit.
What's in your fridge, which suggests meals based on
okay, Sierra.
Okay, kids, I gotta talk with your pop.
Come on now. Let's go to work.
All right.
Go ahead.
It's like a Cosby show talk, well, which is very ironic. But...
Man.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah,
she seems so laid back.
I can cut the tension with a butter knife.
Man, please. Why can't
Let's just be real. Look. We've all had our little indiscretion.
He is such a narcissist to me, FYI.
There's no need to dwell.
Is that how you feel?
Let me tell you something.
What are you doing?
Are you familiar with the commandment, thou shalt not judge?
That's not a commandment.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Are you familiar?
Yes.
I saw this video that was online of Tip backstage slapping the girl's ass. You should not be grabbing on nobody's ass. Like, I care about the cheating and the disrespect.
I know that you are upset, but not with me. You upset with the people who keep.
First of all, that is so manipulative. You're not upset with me. You're upset with the people that keep saying. That is so narcissistic. How can you tell her what she's upset about? This is how he did that whole daughter situation, which we'll get into that later. But anyway, let's keep going.
Calling you and
No,
bothering
I'm upset with you. They wouldn't be calling me if it weren't for you.
The video ain't really the issue. The video being posted up on social media is the issue. You know?
Now, see, that's why I wanted to play this. So she's only upset, according to him, she's only upset because now it's private. So that already made me feel like they had an agreement in their marriage about things that he's allowed that he can and cannot do. Because why would he say that?
If someone would have sent her that video privately, she and I would have had one conversation about it and it would have been over. You know what I'm saying? Like before, man, it was all about us and we had.
But do he not care that that's embarrassing? Maybe that's why he's saying she's mad because she's embarrassed, but he doesn't even seem remorseful. It's kind of sociopathic to me.
In our own world, and whatever we did in our world was us, and we were cool, where nobody included, their opinion didn't matter, their voices didn't matter, they had no say. And now all of a sudden, everybody's opinion makes it into the house. I hate it. I don't care nothing about how they feel. I care about how you feel.
Does he? Does he really?
I love you too.
I love you.
She's too over it. Like, it looked like she was over it at this point.
9 inches back.
Try 6.
Dang, you need to get a new booty, honey. You need to get you a new booty. Man, listen, man.
That's so chauvinistic to me.
Cannot be duplicated. You can put you with somebody else. You can put me with somebody else. You ain't gonna get the same thing.
He's a person that double talks, like, and people like that. That's really slick at the tongue and you and all that stuff. Like a person that can like slick talk, they get away with a lot of stuff because number one, it sounds good, but you really not saying nothing. Like, listen to this.
Hey man, you know what I mean? Ain't the same fireworks, ain't the same combustion. You just can't get it.
You're so stupid.
I know it.
She know the BS.
I know our relationship has too much history just to throw away.
Yeah, let me see who in this bedroom.
Boy, please. Tip just needs to step up. If it's me he wants, then he needs to show me. Show me that he's fighting for what he loves. Man, no.
Give me the remote.
No. You got to go back to wherever you came from, grabbing asses.
So it looks like they were separated at this time. Once again, I don't follow this.
For me to bear right now. I mean, it is. I'm flabbergasted.
Okay, flapping your ass on that end.
One day.
Stop my favorite part.
You gonna kick me out, and I ain't gonna never come back.
Doubt it.
Yeah, you gonna wish for it like me one day. And like that, I'm gone.
Thank you. Say bye to your daddy.
Later on, man. So sorry I gotta leave you here in this hellhole.
Pretty nice
This
hellhole.
is a dump.
What they?
And see, the kid didn't even care that he was leaving. That's another thing. Like, why didn't his kid care about that? Because I guess they're so used to dad doing whatever. So when I saw that, I was wondering like, well, what was going on during that time? Why was he out of the house? Because once again, I told you I don't follow, the show or whatever. So I came across this article from Amo Mama, and this was an article like December 5th, 2019, so a couple of years back, and it says T.I. and Tiny Harris got down to nitty gritty of their complex relationship and revealed the real reason they still stay together despite both admitting they put themselves out there during their marriage. We heard about T.I.'s philandering ways and the divorce papers his wife Tiny eventually filed. Okay, she filed the papers in 2017. I didn't know that. But what we don't know is why the divorce never pushed through. T and Tiny finally opened up about their relationship. So the couple dropped by the Red Table Talk. Everyone's always on the Red Table Talk. It's very rare where you are able to be married to your best friend and have the best sex you've ever had. You don't toss that away. You do if it's unhealthy. According to the pair, their troubles began after T.I. returned from his 2 stints in prison in 2011. He realized he had returned to a wife he hardly knew. Or did he return to a wife that had settled in and made her own life without him? That's what I think it is, because he's too chauvinistic, in my opinion, to have been okay with that, He said he felt like this is not the woman I love. This is not the woman I wanted. If I tell her she's going to listen and she's going to do it the way I want her to do it. You hear what? Listen to these words. He says, if I tell her this, she's going to listen and she's going to do it the way I want her to do it. He went and found somebody where he could be like, hey, don't move, do that. I was not her. That's controlling. That sounds controlling to me. So finally, I'm just going to go skim through this. But finding less of the Tiny he knew upon his return, T.I. sought silence and other women to gain a sense of control. And if he is a person that needs control, that would make this story a little compelling. Tiny realized that things were going downhill for them. Nothing was working, and he was just like, I'm going to move how I want to move. That was it. So she filed for divorce in 2017. So she said when she filed the divorce, he changed. So Tiny explained that T.I. worked to win her over and made an effort to patch their relationships up. T.I.'s addressing T.I., she states, you came back as if you really wanted to work things out. You really wanted the relationship. Like before, it was kind of like, oh, the grass is greener over here. So that's what I'm doing until I guess you figured out it wasn't. So Tiny has revealed that she did put herself out, as her husband has done numerous times. We both have been out there with other people a little bit, but mine has not been as extensive as yours. I never, ever, ever had sex with anybody other than you while we've been married. So it's like she was on a more faithful tip. Let me see. He admits she's keep for 2 reasons. It's very rare where you have able to be married to your best. Okay. So he's saying he was with her. That was his best friend, best sex. It's got to be a 2-way street if he's tuning in trying to work. So anyway, this relationship, this said nothing about the open relationship. But clearly they have an open relationship. So this is not the article that I thought about. So the thing with the stripper, I think that is what I saw an article. Oh, it's bothering me because I saw an article about their open relationship. And I read so many. Here it is. See, I've been looking it up. So this is in June 2017, Hollywood Life. Monogamy is one of the cornerstones of marriage. That's something that T.I. just doesn't want anymore, despite his everlasting love for Tiny. Oh, she's older than him. He's moving ahead with their divorce, but that could change if she could accept that he wants the ability to hook up with all the hotties who want to get with their handsome rapper. T.I. still loves Tiny, and he says he always will, but he just can't stay faithful to her. So I think this is when she filed the divorce, that was their deal breaker. Everybody had a deal breaker in a relationship. Look, I'm having a hard time being faithful. If you want to be with me, this is my stipulation. And she went with it. I know I read that somewhere. So she went with it. So the story about the strippers, what we went over earlier in the first Tiny and T.I. Now that was in 2018, that clip that I sent to you guys. Now I found this on Lipstick Alley September 5th, and I don't know how reputable this is. So all this is alleged. I'll keep saying that. But there was a stripper who talked about them, but it has been removed from this, from this site. But someone responded to what she said, and this lady said, we already knew that they party like T.I. and Tiny. We already knew that they party like this, so I'm not telling you anything new. But the weekend they were in Miami before their wedding, my stripper girlfriend named Tussie was invited to party with them. They had a hotel in South Beach. They brought the two girls to their suite. Tiny told my friend, I know you got to make your money, do what you got to do to eat. I need a clean girl to put my mouth on. This is what Tiny says. If you go to get tested and you can keep your mouth shut, then this can turn into a regular thing for you. We will send a plane for you and fly you to Atlanta. My friend already messed up because obviously she can't keep her mouth shut. She also told me that the ecstasy pills were there. They were all rolling and drinking. First, T.I. watches the girls together, then he joins in. He also is a gentleman, very concerned with how everyone feels, very down to earth. This is the true tea. Inside information, this really happened. Later, I may post the name of the dancers, the hotel if I feel like it, or if I give the story. So this is what she said. But even in this, it seems still like a legitimate open relationship. This is what they're into, and it wasn't no form of abuse. And this was in like September 27, 2010, before any of these accusations apparently, because it's 2021. And I'm just talking about the facts. I don't know what's happening. All I can do is go off the information, that I have and come to my own conclusion at the moment. How I love Canva. So, so once again, apparently they're swingers because this was back in 2016. So it looks like they were kind of, see, their stories is kind of mixed up because in 2017 she filed for divorce because of his cheating, but on September 8th, 2016, I don't know the actual date this happened, it looks like they were already swinging. So I don't know if he was breaking swinger rules or something and she was getting sick of it, or maybe she was just getting sick of the swinger life and she wanted out. But the reasoning that they said in the other article that he just can't stay faithful is kind of weird because it already seems like she already was aware of that and she was participating in that. So let's just say this is everyone, she likes to do what in the bed with T.I. I don't know because I don't really want to read that, but it was a video that was leaked. Let me see. So in this video, you can see that they're around. It's a quick clip, but you can see that they're around like naked women and they're just chilling. And Tiny right here is sitting right next to him. So it's just kind of like, girl, you kind of participated in this in September or whatever, 2016. So what was the real reason for the divorce in 2017? Will we ever know? So anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Like when you're looking at the dates and looking at all of this, you're just kind of like, well, what was really going on with them? And once again, people in Atlanta like knew this was happening, just like people in Chicago, that's where I'm from, knew about R. Kelly. So it's just kind of like, it's kind of the same situation where people knew that something was happening and nobody was saying anything, but yet and still in 2010, we hear someone saying that T.I. was the gentleman and Tiny was recruiting the women. So it's almost like, whose idea was this? I mean, it looks like they were in cahoots either way, but it's just like, So fast forward to January 26th of this year. Sabrina, I have no idea who this girl is, but I know that she just shot up on Instagram and she was just all about exposing them. And apparently she has been a friend of theirs for a while. So she's the Glam University on Instagram, and she wrote this long post that says, the sad part about being a woman and being a Black woman is this. The public praises our predators. At Troubleman 31, who is T.I., you put a gun to my head in front of children, and I never called the police on you. Now, this is the first time I found him being abusive to women that I found. As far as I was gonna go. But for years you have painted me as the villain. I don't know when he's done this. As Black women, it's hard to heal from rape, violence, or anything because you are painted as the problem or reason this has happened to you. Let's normalize allowing Black women to heal. It's so hard being the victim of rape and being painted as the reason it happened. Let's talk. Keisha Bottoms, you can't have a person that has victimized women speak for us. Let's have a real talk. So I'm assuming that T.I. was advocating for every abusive woman. And I know that he was for Megan Thee Stallion. Like when that situation happened when she indicated that she was shot by Tory Lanez, T.I. talked about it, like we need to protect Black women. You know him with the words intellectual. So her whole thing is this dude is saying that protect Black women, but in the same sense, he is not doing that. So it might have been a week or so, but Tiny did respond to Sabrina and she said, hold up, so you want your abuser to train your sons? He was just uncle 2 years ago. Now, when did you say my husband assaulted you? Did you change your mind or change it back? What's up with you today, Pooh? I'm confused. Stop harassing my family. You're strange. Everybody know you've been special. Face slicing seminar lady. Please get help, but leave us alone. And I do remember her saying, look at gossip in the city. She is still stalking you. So really at this point, nobody's believing them because nobody's believing Sabrina. They're just like, girl, chill out, because Tiny comes back and like shows the picture with the sons. But she was saying that. But Sabrina, I remember Sabrina did respond. It was like, that was years ago. And this is then, that was then and this is now. Like, so what? Like she wasn't fazed by that. I think actually Sabrina started finding more victims and more women start coming out, like she just went deeper into it. So that wasn't a good scare tactic. So then we get T.I., Mr. Indubitably, and this is what he had to say after we get through all of this.
Hey, so as y'all could probably guess or imagine,
he never wears a beard. It just looks foreign. But anyway, let's get to the point.
It's been extremely difficult for me to remain quiet in light of all the things that have transpired and all of the egregious allegations that's been tossed around about me and my wife. But it's a reason for that. And I don't mind sharing it. You see, if a person does not have any right to criminally or civilly have you in court, they have no right. The best thing they could do is get you for a defamation suit, drag you in court, make you pay their legal bills to get you in court. Now, I mean, at this point, man, it's at the point where that don't even matter to me no more, okay? But that's the motive, that's the strategy, that's the intention. Say a whole bunch of false stuff about you that get people to believe and make them come out and say, they're a liar, they're a liar, they're a liar. And then they can say, see, they called me a liar. That's defamation. Then they drag you in court, get you under oath and all that. Because unfortunately right now, it doesn't matter as much what they can prove you did. It matters what you can prove you did. You know what I mean? And that's just an unfortunate place that our society has made it to. But I want to be clear about one thing. Women who have been victimized deserve to be heard. Women, Black women in particular, should be supported, protected, defended, and uplifted. However, evil has no gender. People with evil intentions have no gender. A threat comes in all shapes and sizes. I would never treat a woman the same way I would treat a threat. All right?
What does that mean?
So I think that has...
What does that mean? If he's threatened, would he treat them a different way, whether they're a woman or a man? So it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. If you threaten me, then I will treat it accordingly. Is that what that means?
To be distinguished. First and foremost, I want to say
Words mean things.
My wife is a beautiful person with an amazing spirit and a kind heart. She's a devoted mother, and she has a humble soul. She don't deserve it. She don't deserve it.
Where's he
Now,
at?
what we're not gonna do is open up the door to my bedroom, as you shouldn't have to either. Open up the door to my bedroom for everybody to come in and chime in and make their opinions about what we do and don't do or should.
I agree. That should be sacred. Only if people are not getting abused.
Shouldn't do, but I will say this: whatever we ever have done has been done with consensual adults who into what we into and like what we like. If we want
So he had to come out and make it official without all the speculation that they do have an open relationship, which I agree with him. If this is something that they do and everyone is consenting, then no problem whatsoever. And this was before, the now, which we're going to get into in a minute.
Something we know exactly where to go to get it. We ain't never forced nobody. We ain't never drugged nobody against their will. We ain't never held nobody against their will. We ain't never made nobody do anything. We ain't never trafficked anything. Well, sexually trafficked anything. I ain't never raped nobody. Never raped nobody. Also, I'm gonna tell you what's factual.
First of all, rape comes in many different forms, and if everybody's just thinking of the general rape, he could have technically not. But if he was given the pills and the person is all incoherent and they're not conscious when things are happening, they don't understand what's happening, that technically is a form of rape. Just saying.
There have been fake stories put up that blog sites anonymously sent to this person. Blog sites anonymously sent fake stories to this person, and the person posted it as though it was a victim, that they were sure that it was a victim and it has been victimized. And what this does is it dismantles the mechanism that women have created for themselves. You can't weaponize something with baseless claims. These are not stories of actual events. They're not. And I have proof of that. And that's why I said it. I have proof of that. I have proof of people who have gone on live with this person and they later said, man, I just wanted some clout. That's why I can't believe they actually posted this shit.
And he is right. There were people reaching out to Sabrina that was just doing it for attention. So it's like you have people that it might have happened with, but then you have people that were just doing it just to do something. Just with the R. Kelly, you had those women that never even met R. Kelly, So I'm using him as an example because he's the local that I knew about. But there we go. That I've heard about, but then when I saw Lifetime, I'm like, oh my God.
I just want some clout. So this is what we're dealing with, man. This is what we're dealing with. And also, I pose you a question.
What is it? Yeah.
How you gonna be a victim and an attacker at the same time? How are you being victimized if you are violently attacking someone?
Was she attacking him when he pulled the gun out? Is that what he's insinuating?
Women who have been victimized deserve to be heard. They deserve to feel comfortable and confident. They deserve to feel supported. And that's supposed to get them to a place where they can show their face and say, this is what happened to me. This is who did it. And so the necessary steps can follow. This is not that. This is not that. I also want you to know it's evil at play. I'm talking about evil. I'm talking like, evil. And there's been a history. We had a history in dealing with the particular individual in question. We had a history of it, man. Had a history of it.
And what is that history?
And there is a record of pattern behavior like this. A history of harassment. Not. I'm talking about this. This is not my opinion. I'm just saying what's on record. A history of violence on record.
But don't he have a history of violence on record too? This is so vague.
And we can't just, weaponize social media to take down people who have families and who communities depend on. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about who have done everything that they can to uplift and help to evolve our communities. We can't tear our people down like that. And this has taught me a lot. But one thing I know, man, I will not be bullied. I am not afraid. I am not ashamed. And I mean, and the truth will be revealed, man. But until then, man, hey, listen, man, any woman out there who's going through things, who have gone through things, if you have a story, and you should come forward. You should, but don't lie, because that tear the whole vehicle down. Don't lie. The truth is what needs to be heard. The truth. And I can deal with the truth all day. But at some point, man, it has to be some sort of, it got to be something that happens if you come and make baseless claims that are false about somebody that have a negative impact on them, their livelihood, or their freedom. Something got to be done about that. But I was built for this. I was born to be in this position. I was born to be in this position, to face pressure.
Oh.
And sit in the fire. So it benefits others in the future. I was born to be in this position.
How is this benefiting others?
God put me here for this. So whatever evil has been conjured up to come against me, no weapon form against me shall prosper.
You got that.
So, man, I got a lot of love for everybody who's been calling me and who's been in support of me and my wife. Shit, man. We'll be back to doing us, man, sooner than later.
Not really.
Love and respect.
Not really, because the Family Hustle show got canceled, and he was supposed to play a role in Ant-Man, and they took that from him. So the future is not looking bright for the Harrises right now. I am going to play some commercials, and we'll be right back.
Do you find yourself overwhelmed with small business tasks? Well, Be Your Own Kind Freelancing is here to take the weight off. We specialize in assisting businesses with various administrative duties, HR consulting, online marketing, and editing services for podcasters and YouTubers. If you have a need we haven't mentioned, contact us to see if we can help. For more information, email us at info@beyourOwnKind.com. Leave the tedious tasks with us and take your time back.
Okay, I am back. Just have to play a couple of commercials. And I realized I was not in my YouTube. So I don't want to put this all in somebody else's history. And they're like, what is all this about T.I.? So anyway, let's just recap. We realized that they've always had an open relationship, so we don't really know what the divorce was about. Maybe she didn't want to be a singer anymore. We realized that he couldn't be with an independent person because while he was in jail, Tiny did gain her independence, and it didn't sit right with him because he wanted to be with somebody that was going to do what he wanted to do. So we see that T.I. has some type of controlling complexes going on with him, and so it looks like somehow or another they negotiated whatever situation that they had or whatever. It's in I got it right here. You looking for the charger? Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. So then we just heard like the testimonies from Tiny and the testimonies from T.I. So now the thing, like, I only want to bring this up because I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I just thought it was really weird because I remember that
I'm a variety.
he had gotten some slack for talking about his daughter's virginity, and people were like really like legit upset with him for that. So I wanted to get back into that. Let's see.
If you're trying to lose belly fat, stop doing cardio. This sounds backwards, right?
I don't want to hear what you got to say.
We got to start by saying what the hell is going on with T.I.
I love Whoopi Goldberg.
Because he apparently went on Red Table Talk to walk back his claim that he's been taking his daughter to the doctor yearly for yearly virginity checks since she was 15 years old. Take a look.
Yes.
I'm being criticized because I'm willing to go above and beyond to protect mine.
Right.
And I'm talking about all of the little slimy, grimy, chubby-fingered little boys who want to just come in.
She telling him to calm down.
And destroy
Look how angry he looks.
I think all of this surrounds a conversation.
And she didn't say anything. I remember watching this, and she didn't say, Tiny didn't say
How
anything.
do I deal with parenting in this day and age? And so I just began to, from a place of truth, I began to embellish and exaggerate. And I think that a lot of people kind of like took it extremely literal.
So my whole thing is, how can you not take that literal? You literally said that's what you did. So this is just part of their show again, and it kind of shows how the daughter was feeling.
Do you think he knows what's going on? Doesn't look like it. Have you talked to him since you got back? Nope.
All right.
Things are completely uncomfortable for me right now. We're all together in this house, so I have to see my dad and be around him. And we're in a foreign country, so it's not like I can just leave and get away.
And so he acting like nothing's even happening.
This is crazy. It's all over the internet. Everybody will be on their phone, scrolling Instagram, or scrolling Facebook. It's stupid. I'm scrolling on Twitter, and I see that I've been tagged in a post. The only word that I saw was gynecologist, and I didn't even need to read the whole title because I just knew. My heart sank. Very shocked, hurt, angry, embarrassed.
But for a person that's really looking and judging his daughter's sex life, you're doing everything you want to do with women or whatever. So what is this? Are you afraid of your karma? I just thought this was excessive, but anyway, let's keep going.
Are you okay, though? I mean, do you want to talk about it? Let's just go on and get out of here, go get changed, just go to the beach. Okay. Yeah.
You're at the beach, kind of.
That tip's something else. Isn't it something else? Y'all gonna take the kids to the pool? I need to have talk.
I wonder how his mom feel about this.
I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm gonna let you ladies go. I just heard about all this mess.
You look just like his mom.
Okay, so how do you really feel about it? I mean, honestly, I'm embarrassed, definitely, for sure. I'm trying to push it in the back of my mind, so I'm really not thinking about it. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. Stop doing it. I know it's not healthy at all. That brings anxiety. But I've been doing that since a child. With stuff with him, but it needs to not be.
She's been suppressing it since a child, even with him. I'm not going down the route you think I'm going, but it's like, if he's controlling as he portrays himself, she's had to been dealing with his narcissism her entire life. So it's kind of like, what can I say? Because no matter what I say, I'm just trying to figure out Tia's character.
Something that you get accustomed to doing. I typically don't handle problematic issues head on. I tend to hope that issues just go away. I know it's not healthy, but I do it because it's easier. I'll be honest with you, that he goes to the gynecologist with you to make sure that you're still a virgin? Yeah, he goes, it's definitely been going on since probably 14 or 15.
What?
I've never heard of it. You should be able to trust your child enough for them to tell you. Doctors, I'm surprised they let him come in there. Yeah. It's not like I could have said no. I couldn't have said no. It would be totally different if this was King. If this was any of your brothers, it'll probably be like.
Mind you, his son was 15 and caught with someone, and T.I. didn't even care about it. I remember seeing an excerpt of that.
Praise. And I wonder why is it like that? Like men, like they praise their little boys to have sex. Isn't it? But girls, like,
that's a whole other subject.
Why can't you be a big girl and make your own decisions for yourself? Right.
I do think my dad treats me differently than the boys when it comes to the subject of sex and supervision. My dad even jokes with King about becoming a baby daddy. He would never joke like that with me.
I can't imagine what it's like being a celebrity kid, though, because your whole life is on your life. Exactly. Everything is being posted. Everything is being discussed. Now you can't even keep your sex life private. It's like
she don't have one. It's getting checked.
I'm not gonna be able to like really get through to him, like connect. How I need.
But then you need to try to though.
He always plays victim, honestly. So like.
He always plays victim. Once again, I told you, I feel he's sociopath.
Are you angry?
I just don't really care to be around him right now. I'll be a better parent. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad parent. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to stuff like this, like, I'm just going to be more connected mentally, emotionally, all of that. So, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm kind of just looking at him differently because of it.
Yeah. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Really, I mean, like, more so our relationship. I'm going to look at it differently.
Yeah. Makes sense. Do you feel like this is going to put a strain over it?
No.
It's okay to cry. It is. We're not going to judge you. We are cousins.
And the reason why I showed this because I always felt on the Real Table Talk that she should have been there. I don't know why Tiny and T.I. was there and she wasn't there when the thing was being said about her. And the only way we could see how she felt was through reality TV. And he's sitting up there when you're being overprotective. It's like he was kind of like making an excuse for his behavior. Once again, the double talk or whatever. So I brought this up because it was certain key things that she said. She said she's been dealing with, he's been going to the gynecology appointments since 14. Since she was a kid, she's been dealing with basically the control, I'm putting in controlling, type of person that he is. So, it's just frustrating because she feels like she can't do anything because he's just going to play victim anyway. So maybe about around the same time that Sabrina had these allegations, Deja puts out this weird tweet on Twitter, and then she erased it. But a lot of people caught it, so it was up there long enough for them to catch it. So let me see if I can fast forward to it. Because she's just saying everything I just said. Because everybody's insinuating that he abuses her. I don't know. That's not what this is about. I don't know. She didn't say it, but she seemed like she's upset about something with him besides that. But here's the bizarre text message, tweet. Wait.
Deleted the post. Here's what she said.
This is going to sound super weird, but last night my pops woke me up around 5 a.m. asking if I wanted some juice. And when I sat up, it literally felt as if I caught a Charlie horse, but it was on the right side of my neck. What? Make that make sense. Then she deleted it. Then other people were saying what's sad is the only part I was stuck on the fact was that her dad woke up to offer her juice. And it's just this thing out called Dirty Sprite where people handing people stuff. And then, the allegations is he's handing people pills. I pray that that's not what this is. All this is alleged. I pray that she's in a safe space, and they're saying, and then Deja responds, this isn't a normal thing. He just randomly came and asked if I wanted juice. I was confused like shit, but I took it. So she's saying this is not normal. This is the first time that he just came in to offer juice. So I don't know. Maybe he had something on his mind. I mean, who knows? She's not implying that it was any type of abuse there. And so she's just saying he just asked if she wanted juice. And so she just took the juice. She never said if she read it. I mean, she drank it. Sorry, it's late. That she drank it. But I don't know. That was just awkward. Don't you think? So that's weird to me. That's weird to me. It's fishy and it's weird, and his controlling could be, you know, like, you once again, do Tiny really want this open relationship, or is she just going with the flow because this was a stipulation for him to stay? You know, it's showing that he's a little controlling, you know, and he's a double talker. Like everything that we've seen so far, it seemed like he's a double talker, you know, like kind of a sociopath. So things got progressively worse for both of them, not just him, because they're both in this together. And accuser did speak out. I think she was talking with Sabrina, so let's get into that.
I have a new baby and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, can I get back to you on this offer? So he's like, sure, you can get back to me, whatever. So now, of course, I speak to my fiance. I'm like, hey, what do you think I should do? Should I, meet up with these people? I gotta see what they have to offer, whatever. And he's like, if you do go, I'm sure they're probably gonna have you sign something, whatever. And it's crazy because, like, as I'm
what was the offer?
Seeing these stories, I'm seeing that this is exactly what they had these people do, like sign that you cannot speak about what's going on.
So she's engaged. Okay, let's keep going.
Like I said, I considered it because of who they are, and then I thought back on it, like, because I myself am a rape victim from 2014. I had just questions of like, okay, so why do you want to fly me out? Like, why do you want to meet with me? Like, he's like, oh, we have a venture for you. We can speak more in person about it, whatever. But it just didn't sit well with me until why these people wanted. Like, I have 2,000 followers at that time, probably less than that. So I'm like, what about me? Like, where did you know what I mean? Like, I had so many questions in my mind about what did they really want. And then, I brought it to my family's attention. I went to my mom. I'm like, Mom, look, such and such wants me to go. And, everybody around me is like, go. I would have did it, And like I said,
you would have did it because it was a celebrity?
I have my own family.
Now I'm thinking, I wouldn't go because it's a celebrity.
When after I go and come back, like, they're still going to have their families and stuff. And what am I like? I don't really see what's the main reason. Like, yeah, I do sing, and every girl, like you said, has dreams to be a model and do this and do that. But after I had the phone call with the two individuals, I just didn't understand, like, what did they want from me specifically? Because there was no actual. It was more so, when you get here, we'll speak about it. About a venture, as you've seen. And I'm like, okay, what kind of venture? Like, what is it exactly that you guys, have in mind? And, like, I'm shaking right now because I'm just so glad that I didn't go through with it, because it's so many females, as from what I could see, that has got taken advantage of. And like I said,
well, she didn't quite say like the last person in the earlier text information that we saw. There was like an offer from Tiny, like, if you come, you can do such and such, and if you keep it low, you'll be our normal person. Here they're not even telling her what it's for. We can only insinuate and imply this. I mean, I'm just playing devil advocates here. Like, it seemed like it might have been fishy, but we don't know because she did not go. So if it was something fishy, thankful for her, but yet and still we don't really know what the offer was. Now, there were some more accusers that were coming clean, and this was disturbing, but this is like 11 girls now, like, for real. Let me see. I thought I had it up. Where is it? La la la. That was the great. Did they remove it? Oh no. I think they removed it. They couldn't have. Okay, I saved this. Let me see if it stayed in my save. Because I legit saved it. So let's see. Oh, okay.
Who have been victimized deserve to be. I want to be clear about one thing. Women who have been victimized deserve to be heard. Women, black women in particular, should be supported, protected, defended, and uplifted.
Jane Doe 1. Date of incident, summer 2006. Location of incident, Atlanta, Georgia. In 2006, she was a 17-year-old senior at Tri-City High School.
17.
And interning for T.I. and Tiny at their Atlanta studio. She was vaginally and anally raped by T.I. after being given alcohol and drugs by Tiny.
By Tiny, wow.
Jane Doe 2, a U.S. military veteran. Date of incident, September 2005. Location of incident, Los Angeles, California. Tiny sat next to Jane Doe 2 at a club and offered her a sip of a spiked drink. Tiny and T.I. took her and a few other girls.
See, that's what makes it weird because we just heard about that drink. Like, I'm just praying that's not what that drink was with the daughter, but it's just kind of like, ugh.
Back to their hotel. Tiny gave her a quote, back wet massage. At that point, Jane Doe 2 started feeling sick and began throwing up. T.I. came over and attempted to put his foot into her vagina. She told him no.
Did you hear that?
And the next thing she remembers was waking up naked on the couch with a towel thrown over her with a very sore vagina. Jane Doe 3. Date of incident, September 25th, 2006 and March 2007. Location of incidents,
2007. That's dating even far back.
New York City and Atlanta, Georgia. An aspiring artist. Tiny invited her to the studio in January 2007 and passed her off to her security, Cedric Alpha Mega Sellers. Jane Doe 3 rejected his advances, and he grabbed her phone, put his number in, called himself, and began stalking her nonstop for months. She ignored him until she saw him again 2 months later. At that second encounter, Alpha Mega grabbed her and put a gun to her head. He then blindfolded her, put her in his car, and drove 20 to 15 minutes into Georgia. He raped her 3 times within a 24-hour window, drove her back to the studio the following day, and pistol whipped her, threatened to kill her if she spoke. Shortly after, she received a call from T.I. threatening her to never come near his studio again.
What?
Jane Doe 4, a teenage freshman. Date of incident with T.I., 2006, 2007, and 2015. In 2005, Tiny approached her to work as their assistant. She was never paid or compensated for any of the work completed.
She should have left for that.
On one occasion, T.I. stood over her, and Tiny stood close by as T.I. forced her to open her mouth and swallow 8 ecstasy pills.
Now, this don't sound consensual now.
Throughout the duration of her time with T.I. and Tiny, the duo forced her to engage in sexual acts with different women against her will. In 2014, T.I. and Tiny forced her to have sexual intercourse with rapper Nelly against her will.
Did they just say Nelly?
Jane Doe 5. Date of incident with T.I. October 2017. Location of incident, Atlanta, Georgia. Clark Atlanta University freshman. She was slipped a date rape drug while visiting Grand Hustle.
Why is she whispering though?
T.I.'s interns. Jane Doe 6. Date of incident 2017-2018. Forced to take Molly, coke, and other drugs. Location of incident, Atlanta, Georgia. A private dancer. Jane Doe 6 was hired to do a private dance for T.I. and Tiny. She was told that there would be other celebrities there, and she needed to keep the encounter confidential. She was forced to take drugs and engage in unwanted sexual acts with other women. She had her cell phone and belongings taken and was held against her will for 3 days. Tramika Williams. Date of incident, December 12, 2009. Location of incident, Atlanta, Georgia. A 7-month-old pregnant mother and 8-year-old boy. In the December of 2009, Tramika Williams was pregnant when T.I. and a group of his associates kicked in her front door and then put guns to the heads of her 8-year-old, 6-year-old, and 4-year-old sons and made them go into the closet. They then beat up her ex-husband at the time and kidnapped him. It was 3 p.m. in the afternoon. They called the police, and the DeKalb County Police Department came.
I want to be clear about what
They did nothing after.
So the police did nothing.
Women, black women in particular, should be supported, protected, defended, and uplifted.
Oh my God, I need a minute after that. I thought I saw this whole thing. This is on, in case you didn't know, on Instagram. And I'll have in the description box, I'll put all of the places where I found everything. Oh wow, I don't even know what to say after that. That's horrible. It's deplorable, and it's all young women, like defenseless young women, and then for an 8-year-old to see this, like that's an indelible memory. You know what I'm saying? And this is supposed to be a pillar of the community. It just goes to show you that you can't be idolizing these people. Like you can't. It's good to, love their music. It's good to even love their message, but they're people at the end of the day. And this is like disheartening to me, because I am a fan, and yeah, so the last thing we're going to get into is the lawyer, and we'll skip through some of it because some of the stories were in the Instagram that we just saw, video that we just saw. But this is the lawyer for the accusers. And we're just going to do part 1. I don't know if I can handle any more after this. So let's get into it.
Know who the witnesses are. He wants to know when the incidents occurred. He wants to know all the evidence. And I refuse to provide that to him. Because T.I. has a reputation of threatening people. There's a reputation of intimidating people. And I promise these women that I will not expose them to that kind of treatment and behavior from him. Or from anyone he's affiliated or associated with. So the only people that will know the identities of these women are the authorities. That is the best course to take. That way these women are protected from T.I. and his associates.
Okay, the Jasmine brand.
Hi, Ellie Andrews from the Jasmine brand. I was wondering, what are these women seeking when it comes to them planning to sue?
What they're seeking is justice. That's all they've been seeking this entire time, justice. These women have never put forth a request for money. They've never asked for money. Again,
well, they didn't have to, because I think what's being alleged is that they were offered money.
Like I said just now, a few seconds ago, Steve Sadal, maybe he misspoke. Maybe he misspoke to the New York Times. Because I'll tell you right now, I didn't ask him for $1. And from what I got from the conversations that we had, from the emails, they were very, very interested in killing this story and killing these claims. They didn't want this to get out.
Well, duh.
And if T.I. and Tiny did nothing wrong, then they should have nothing to worry about. They should want the investigation to go through. They should want the women's stories to be investigated. They should want the authorities to speak to their witnesses to corroborate and to see if their stories are corroborated. And if nothing happened, then they have nothing to be worried about.
And when it comes to Shekinah, what are you guys seeking from her?
Well, Shekinah defamed Sabrina Peterson's character. And then 3 days later, she attempted to apologize for it. Not even apologize, but she attempted to walk it back 3 days after. But that's, too little, too late. At the end of the day, you cannot come out saying that someone engaged in sex acts, engaged in sex trafficking, engaged in all these different things when you have zero facts to back that up and you know that you're lying. And that's exactly what she did.
Wait, so Shekinah, I think, was like the hairstylist, and I do remember her saying something. Wait a minute. I just saw her. I think I'm saying Shekinah and BI. So this was her explaining it. I think this was it. Let me see.
And Doug. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you...
Willie allegedly used to tell me stuff about her. Okay, and what Willie used to say to me, he used to be like, she this person, she that person, she this person, she
Sabrina,
that
I
person.
think she's.
So yesterday, when I said what I said on the live, okay, I was speaking out of her. I was just saying what she was saying about somebody else and then somebody else. I was just only saying that back to her. That had nothing to do with none of the rest of the women. I was really aiming that back to her because I feel like she's psychotic. That's my opinion. Because I would never go and attack nobody and by their goddamn name.
Wait, I
if
want
I'm
to
down
say
with women, I'm down with women. I'm gonna try to help you by your name, not go by your name. I had to spend $5,000, you guys, to pay for an attorney and by my name, my government name. What y'all ain't gonna do is pull me in some that I ain't got nothing to do with. I don't know Sabrina and Tiny in their friendship because when they weren't friends when I came around. I cannot say that Sabrina recruited nobody for them because I don't know. I know that because Willie said that. I'm crying because it's hurtful, friend, buddy.
Okay, so now I remember. So before this video, she said that why is Sabrina speaking up? Because Sabrina used to recruit women for them. And so the next day she took it back because really by her saying that Sabrina recruited women for them, it's kind of messing. It's kind of like corroborating with what's going on, right? So, and it's kind of confirming that this is what, the Harrises do. So now I remember that. Okay, so back to this.
She wanted hits. She wanted Facebook likes. She wanted Instagram likes. And she got that. So now she got a lawsuit as well.
And just to confirm, none of these women consented to the sexual acts that were against them.
You can't consent if you were drugged.
Okay.
You cannot consent if someone put Molly into a drink. And I think the drink of choice for a lot of them, from what they told me, was Sprite. You had a kind of Sprite, and you telling them to drink out of this kind of Sprite. You cannot consent if someone, in the case of Jane Doe 2, which happened in LA, you cannot consent if Tiny spikes Patron and hands you Patron and tells you to sip this, and then all of a sudden you lose control of your decision-making skills.
And I'm sorry, last question. Moving forward, what does this case look like?
For me, I want this case to be criminally investigated. I want it to be investigated in LA for Jane Doe 2. I want it to be investigated in Georgia for Jane Doe 1 through and Jane Doe's 3 through 6. And I want the prosecutors to do what they do. If they think that criminal charges should be filed against Tia and Tiny, then that's what needs to happen. And I want all women who have been affected and impacted by Tia and Tiny to come forward. You do not have to worry about having your identities disclosed. I will not do that. You do not have to worry about having your witnesses' identities disclosed. I will not do that. Come forward, tell your story. It will be provided to the authorities and have them do the investigation.
Thank you, sir.
From AJC.
Hey, Tyrone, Stephen Deere from the AJC.
How are you, Stephen?
Good, and yourself?
This is not conversational. Ask the question.
Hey, how many, or what were all the jurisdictions that you referred these matters to? and for investigation. And do you have any concerns about the publicity that you're generating right now, like harming or interfering with any investigation that the authorities might launch?
What?
No, I don't. Which is why I did the way that I did. I didn't identify who the women, who any of these victims are, or survivors, I should say. I don't want to use the word victims. I did not identify who any of these survivors are.
He said that earlier, so they wouldn't be intimidated.
TI and Tiny and their associates, and also to preserve the investigations.
Do people listen?
And to preserve the integrity of the investigations. I also did not provide any of the witness identifications or any of the evidence that I have to substantiate any of the women's stories. And the jurisdictions, again, it's Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. I sent a letter over to them. I sent it over to the U.S. Attorney's Office, in particular for the trafficking and the trafficking claim, the sex trafficking claim, as well as to the Georgia State AG's office, and they can pass it on to whichever prosecutorial offices within the city of Atlanta if they want to. I know that the federal claims have a statute of limitations for 10 years, and I believe that some of the women still fall within the statute of limitations. I know that the claim for Georgia's state charge for the rape charge is 15 years, and I know that at least 5 of the women fall within that statute of limitation.
Oh my God!
And well, 4 of the women fall within that statute of limitation. I know that the one for California, I believe that her rape charge still falls within California statute of limitations as well.
I'm sorry, one follow-up question.
Did
you refer anything to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office?
I chose not to. And the reason why I chose not to refer to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office is because I lack confidence in the...
And this makes sense when he's saying that, because in the video before this, they said that they called the police and the police did nothing.
Local authorities, and this for good reason. There was a young man who was 8 years old who had a gun.
This is that situation that we just heard.
His mother called the police. His mother had this incident occurred at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. His mother called the police. His mother was 7 months pregnant at the time. His mother went into premature labor as a result of this. T.I. put a gun to the 8-year-old kid's head, to a 6-year-old kid's head, and to a 4-year-old kid's head, because he had 2 little brothers with him. He's now in his 20s. I spoke with him, and I submitted a FOIA request, and I got a copy of the police report. There is nothing in the police report that indicates what occurred on that day, which is very troubling to me. The police report literally says that this was a breaking and entering, a kidnapping, and I believe it's mentioned the battery. No evidence, no investigation occurred, no detail of the accounts, nothing. This kid who is now in his 20s can remember down to the cereal he was eating at the time. Yet and I'm sorry for raising my voice because this upsets me. Yet
his voice is so calm though.
The DeKalb County Police Department had zero record of his account in this statement, and no kind of investigation was conducted. So I have zero faith in the local authorities doing the right thing. I don't know what TI's relationship is with them, but it seems that something is fishy is going on, and I really want the federal investigators to take a hold of this case. And if the state can do it, I'll prefer the state speak to the witnesses and to do the investigation that way.
Just one other thing. Do you anticipate bringing civil action as a result of these matters? And if so, what would some of the claims be? And when do you anticipate filing a civil suit, if that's what you intend to do?
Well, right now I'm just focusing on the criminal investigation. My primary focus is to get these women justice. That's it. If we're going to file a civil suit, we will cross that bridge when we get there. But at this point in time, my only focus is getting these women justice, making sure that T.I. and Tiny and their associates are held accountable for the reign of terror that they visited upon these women.
Reign of terror, all right, man.
These women have suffered immensely throughout the years. The girl that was Jane Doe 1 was in the top 10% of her class, her senior class, when she interned for them. Scholar student. Graduates from high school, goes to college, and drops out her sophomore year. That makes absolutely no sense. She was addicted to drugs as a result of this as well. Fought hard to get her life back. Is in therapy and is continuing to go to therapy right now. Okay? Jane Doe 2 was suicidal as a result of this.
Oh my.
Okay? Jane Doe 6 was suicidal as a result of this. Jane Doe 4 was required to go through intense therapy as a result of this. I mean, I can honestly just go. I don't want to go too deeply into this because again, I don't want to hinder or hamper any investigations that would.
But couldn't they pinpoint who these people are? Because some of these stories are really specific. You know what I'm saying?
This is about making sure that these women get what they've been longing for so long. This is about getting them what they thought they would not have gotten, but for Sabrina Peterson coming forward and making the claims noticed.
Jennifer has a question from agency.
Hello there. Thank you for speaking with us. I know you mentioned you're not going into great detail, but I wonder if you could speak in general terms about the nature of the evidence that you have, given that many of these cases do date back a number of years. Do you have evidence that you could forward to investigators beyond the accounts of the survivors? Any physical evidence or just what are you going to be forwarding to them to aid in the investigation?
I think the New York Times.
Well, how are you gonna come late and ask a question that's already been answered?
The Times are very, very thorough with their investigation, and they saw a lot of the evidence that we have, and they spoke to the witnesses. So I'm going to leave it there. I think the Times mentioned the type of evidence that they was privy to, and I'm just going to leave it at the Times and wait for the investigation to start and provide them with whatever else that we have.
Well, and respectfully, as journalists, we all like to do the best we can with our own investigation, and so rather than cite another colleague's report, we'd appreciate if we're able to say, this is the evidence we're told is out there.
Yeah, I mean, what? For now, I would prefer to just have the investigators take it from
He said he didn't want to do that because
at the appropriate time
he didn't want them to get intimidated, but she missed it because she was late.
They'll do so, but I'm not willing to share anything additional. And plus, honestly, there's more evidence that the Times did not see, which again, I would want the investigators to take their time with. I don't want in any way to skew the investigation. I just want this to go to take the right course. I've been very, very measured with what I have done so far.
Which she said earlier, but she was late. Anything else? This is so awkward. Okay, that looked like that's it. Okay, so from the conclusions, what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, do you think they could? I don't know. It's really pointing to guilty. It's a lot of survivors out there speaking out. They have representation. It's going above the county and it's going, to the states. Um, so yeah, it's getting a little federal. We don't know how high up it's going to get, and they've been really quiet. I mean, I think I saw a statement on Rolling Stone with their lawyer saying, that they deny the allegations, but that's basically what they said after Sabrina Patterson came out as well. So yeah, we just have to be careful. All money is not good money. Excuse me, all company is not good company. And just because it's a celebrity doesn't mean, let your guards down and be vulnerable. We don't know these people. And even if you look up to them, you don't at the end of this day, excuse me, oh my God, at the end of the day, you don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that Deja has been safe and she hasn't succumbed to any of this or seen any of this. I feel bad for the children that were around when the abuse was taking place. I mean, one thing about a childhood you don't forget. There are things that happened to me with 5 or 6, and I can tell you verbatim what I had on, what was going on, what the other person had on, because it's something about a childhood memory that seems like it happened yesterday. Like I can legit remember something at 5 years old before remembering what I did yesterday. So we do need to protect our Black women, and this is not for pandering reasons. For a person to say, T.I. has put a footprint in the community and saying we should protect our Black people, our Black women, and then come to find out that he could allegedly be abusing, Black women, and not only him, but his wife. And then there's been allegations that he abuses his wife, and if he has this like controlled macho type of attitude, as we've seen in the previous videos and before, it kind of just raise a question mark and raise a question. I never want a person to go to jail, but I also never want a person to be abused and guns pulled out on them and given drinks without their consent, not knowing what's in it, and being abused, physically and emotionally and mentally, because once your body is violated, you're never the same person ever again. So you legit are ruining a life. Like there was one girl that, the lawyer mentioned was in school and just didn't go back to school because she was so distraught. It changes your life. It changes how you feel about yourself. It makes you question your decision making, all types of things. I know because it's happened to me, so I know. And it's not a light thing. Sexual abuse and assault is not a light thing. And it shouldn't be taken lightly because people that we like or we look up to are being accused of this. You know what I'm saying? People are ready to nail other abusers on the cross, like Bill Cosby and things, but because it's T.I., he's a pillar of the community. Yeah, that doesn't negate what he's did to the community, but he's also not been nice to the community, allegedly, because I don't want to get sued. And the fact that he does have this kind of sociopathic, narcissistic type style going on with him, he's not going to admit fault, and Tiny, I just feel like she was dragged into this swingle world. I understand we make our decisions. We decide what we want to be a part of. I totally get that. But I also understand being in love with someone and doing what you have to do to keep your family together. To this extent, I don't know. I feel like maybe that's a little too far, a tad bit too far. But there's a lot of evidence against him and her. And their lawyer should just do a plea deal. It looks like, T.I. and them are going to try to settle, but how are you going to settle with 11 people? And they've been holding this in for so long, and now it's finally bursting, and they finally can get it out, and they finally have the chance at justice. And I don't think anyone's going to renege on that. You know what I'm saying? So my prayers do go out to these women. My prayers do, go out to these accusers. And I just want to tell you guys to just be careful out there. Just please be careful out there. And I'm just speechless. After the Instagram video, I pretty much was out of it because I'm just like, this is just horrible. So until next time, don't forget to be your own kind and be kind to each other, which means look out for each other. If something doesn't seem right and it doesn't sit right in your spirit, call someone, just like one of the young ladies did. Call someone, be like, you know what, this don't seem right. What do you think? You know, and 9 times out of 10, when your first mind is telling you don't do something, don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't. Just because that is your intuition. That is the Holy Spirit telling you no. You know, don't do said thing. You know, and if it's convicting you so much, I just say don't do it at all. So and if it's still convicting you, you still feel like you halfway want to do it, you know, call a trusted friend, a trusted relative, and get their input on things. Because like I said, when your mind and just don't feel right in your spirit to do something, or your energy just don't feel right, just don't do it, no matter what it is. Like, if I can give any advice, I would give that. Believe me, I know I've done things beyond my first mind, and then later on I'm like, you know, so, you know, be careful out there, you know, and protect one another. You know what I'm saying? Have an accountability partner. If you go out to a club, it's just basic things. Don't sit your glass down. Either drink that thing up or leave that thing there and buy another drink. Do not go back to said drink. If you come with your female friends, you leave with your female friends. Get the phone number, get to know the person. But it's really dangerous when you don't know who that person is. You know, just little thoughts. If you go out by yourself, make sure someone knows where you are. Make sure, you know, even if you have to put a locator on your phone, just in case something does go awry, someone knows that you went out, you're supposed to be home by this certain time, and you're not, so they can locate you in your location. There are little things that we can do, you know, in order to stay safe. I'm not saying live in fear. I'm just saying live smart, you know. You know, don't do things alone that don't seem right, and if you can avoid it, don't do it at all, you know. And that's my little auntie talk for tonight. So until next time, just be kind to each other, be kind to yourself. I will be back live on Friday for the Big Friday Live. I'm really excited about that. And I'm also going to do another 2 Cent Live. I don't know if it's going to be either tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday, to talk about like these natural disasters that have happened over the years. However, some of these locations have not yet recovered, and I wanted to delve deep into that as well. And when you're at Must Be Asked, Renita, what does this have to do with being your own kind? It has to do with your own kind. You know, tell your own story. You know what I'm saying? You can't feel exonerated and free to be whatever your purpose is if you're bound by your past and things that happen to you and you don't have healing. This is very related to it. Just like with natural disasters, we can't just keep having a blinding eye to things. That's the problem. You know, that's the problem, especially, you know, in our families where we know that we have abusers in our family and it's just under the rug. Well, I don't let so-and-so go to Sun House. You know how he is, but no one ever reports him. No one ever does anything. Just like with the natural disasters, we know that people are still without water. I just found out Jackson, Mississippi still does not have water. You know what I'm saying? And things are happening and we can't ignore that it's not happening. The only way that we can get things done is to bring awareness and to retrain thinking. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so anyway, I will see you guys on Friday, and until next time, have a good night. Bye.